Welcome to Base to Base Military Homeschooling, the podcast sponsored by Military Homeschoolers Association. It is designed specifically for military homeschoolers navigating the unique challenges of educating our children while moving to new communities every 2 to 3 years. I'm your host, Natalie Mack, and I know firsthand the challenges and rewards of homeschooling while on the move. So where in the large world of military homeschooling are we today? Listen in to our incredible guest. Hey, Miss Karim Morato.
Hola, hola, how are you? ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, bien, yo estoy bien. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This has been a long time dream to have you on the podcast. Even before I knew I was going to establish a podcast, I said I want Karim to be able to share about her amazing Spanish educational program. And so this is the day. So we are here. And I'm not going to say a lot about your program because I want you to be able to talk about it yourself. And you do that perfectly well. And so, but this is an opportunity, Mill Homeschoolers, to get in front of Miss Karim Morato to be able to say, what solutions do you have for how do I teach my children Spanish? And also, if you as a parent want to learn Spanish alongside your child, then this is a great opportunity. This lady has an amazing heart, an amazing program. And I can honestly say we have had two of our sons, our last two, to be homeschooled, benefit from her program. And they love Senora Morato.
Gracias.
So
But
she is,
first of all,
yeah,
I
go
just want
for
to
it.
say, to your community, muchas gracias. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice that you all do because it's a family sacrifice is appreciated. And thank you for keeping our country safe. So I just want to say that first. Thank you,
Oh,
Natalie.
yes, thank you. On behalf of our community, thank you very much. We appreciate you. So we're going to jump in. So I want tell us about who you are. I know how awesome you are, but tell us so our community can get to know you.
Well, I don't want, well, I'm going to go into my identity crisis.
It's okay. And we're
Because
going to
I
laugh
have
a lot, people.
we
So
we
just
wear
get
we wear
prepared.
so many hats, right?
Yeah.
But first of all, I'm a wife. I'm married to an amazing man. I am originally from Guatemala. He's originally from Bolivia. We got
Olivia.
married. Yes, so we got married, and we have a multicultural home. We have three amazing children. It's funny because if you ask them, of course, I was like trying to influence. You're Guatemalan. Where you're Guatemalan. But I think in this case, they decided they're gonna be whatever food they're eating on that day. So
Right, right.
so that's first who I am. Guatemala, Bolivia, very multicultural home,
Okay.
and then I am also a Spanish teacher. Of course, I am a homeschool mom. We decided
Yeah.
to homeschool our children before they were born. And so that was a very easy decision for us to do because homeschooling for us was the perfect way to
Yeah.
educate our children.
Mhm.
Now, one is already an engineer. She's heading to her first job.
So
Um,
excited.
and my son is in his third year of studying business and
Mhm,
technology and sales. And then I
mhm.
have my last one, which is she's 15 and she's in high school, and we're almost done. But I am also a Spanish teacher. I've been a Spanish teacher for the last more than 25 years. And first 16 of those years, I taught in public school. I taught Spanish immersion and IB Spanish. And then I saw a huge need in the homeschool community. Went to school, got my master's degree, how to create curriculum online and teach online, because it's a big difference between having the kids in front of you, seeing what they're doing, seeing the reactions, and then teaching online. In 2014, I saw a shift in education. Thanks to my husband, he's like, you need to look into teaching online. And I got my master's degree, had the most amazing experience learning online. And so I say, well, I think I can help homeschool families. I
Yeah.
think I can reach families doing my curriculum online.
Yeah.
And I saw the need not only for students to learn Spanish, but also I saw the need for parents to feel supported, because most of my parents that use my program, they do not speak
Mhm.
Spanish.
Mhm.
So, you're thinking, how I gonna do this? One mom told me, I feel in the dark when it comes to Spanish. I don't even know where to start and when to finish. So that's where um, I mm, I created this program. And also, I do Hispanic outreach through HSLDA. You and I
Yes. Yes.
collaborate in that way. So I decided to become a Spanish speaking ambassador for homeschooling in my community, because after the pandemic, a lot of Hispanic parents realized, oh, wow, there is another way to educate, not just the public school or private school. And that's what I do when I get to travel to speak about homeschooling in Spanish.
That is so awesome. So you can tell, you all listening, we are dear friends. This is a beautiful person, uh, so passionate about supporting her community, but even the larger homeschool community. And so we travel together sometimes, and under our both of our other hats with HSLDA as outreach coordinators. But we're going to segue and talk more about this curriculum because um, you know, I I want to say over the years, I've always looked for the best Spanish curriculum. You and I have been on your podcast. My background and that I majored in Spanish and I was able to study over in Seville, Spain, and everything. But because I am not a native Spanish speaker, and my husband says like "Hola, cómo está?" Uno, dos, tres. There's really no opportunity for me to practice. And so I think when I see you and anyone else that I know that is a Spanish speaking, and so that means finding curriculum that you actually, as a parent that's not a native Spanish speaker, what type of curriculum can you find that's really going to allow you to offer a very comprehensive program that is not only grammar, but just the whole cultural understanding, as well as being able to converse. And that's difficult to find. And I know I've looked. What we ended up using was Bob Jones University Press curriculum, but they have the CDs. But I love their comprehensive textbook and the grammar and all. But still, the cultural piece was interwoven, but the conversation wasn't there. And I
Mm.
really felt like when we kept looking for other programs, we still never found exactly what we were looking for, even with the great programs that do exist, such as BJU. And so, having said that, I know a lot of families are also looking. This is a common question for the languages, period, for the foreign languages, period. And so I want to talk about your curriculum and I want you to share. And I'll pop in and say a few things, but definitely. And I wish I could bring my sons on because they'll say,
Aw.
oh, it was great. And this is all the good things and everything. I think one of the things I want to also say is you build community in your class.
Yes, yes. And I think that one of the things, Natalie, that I got a vision when I started my master's degree, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what I want my curriculum to be like. And I start explaining my professor, like, this is what I want, this is the need, and this is how I want to do it, and this is how I want to create the lessons, and this is how I'm going to create the activities. And my teacher says something that gave me the vision for the curriculum. He said, oh, you want to create a living Spanish textbook. And I say, yes, that's what I want. I want a living Spanish curriculum. First of all, if you're a teacher, you know that we never follow the textbook.
Yes, right,
We never
right.
And we are always complaining about the textbook because, this part that we don't like it, with chapter we don't agree, this is what we're supposed to be learning. So I love textbooks, I love them, but I believe that I wanted something flexible,
Mhm,
portable, and
mhm.
something that parents, even if I wanted to change the next year something based on the feedback I got
Yes,
from the students, I got from the parents, I wanted something like that. Sounds
yes,
like military families because you guys need a lot of flexibility. You guys move
yes,
around.
yes.
So
You understand.
you need flexibility, but
Yes,
still you need a structure. And I do
exactly.
think that this is what I have worked really hard with my team, because later I added a team of native speakers, excellent teachers to my curriculum.
Mhm.
Um, and what we wanted was to create a methodology that students can use and the parents can follow. The number one reason children do not learn to speak Spanish is because parents do not use a methodology that they can use daily or weekly, that they can practice and they can learn and keep recycling and keep practicing. So
Mm,
that's where my curriculum is. So I have
mm,
two levels, if you want to call
mhm,
it. I
mhm,
have the OHs, the elementary curriculum,
mhm.
because I realize now, I want you guys to understand that yes, I was a teacher, but I was a mom and I had a problem. My own children did not want to speak Spanish. So I literally created a solution. I'm being selfish.
Yeah,
I created a solution for me, but that's what we do with as parents, right?
yeah,
Like you were saying, like you look and you couldn't find it.
yeah,
So I needed a solution for me, and my elementary program was born out of the my my daughter telling me, "Mom, I want to, but I don't know how."
yeah,
When she said that, that broke my heart. So
yeah.
I started creating lessons based on
Mhm,
fun topics that
mhm,
my daughter was included and that my daughter
mhm,
was doing with me during my elementary years. So
mhm.
when you see my elementary program, they are going to be video speaking lessons for your child, kindergarten to sixth grade. Learn how to speak. Don't worry about grammar. Just get them speaking.
Yes,
You don't worry about finishing the lessons, because what you want is mastery. You are not trying to finish something without maybe mastering.
yes,
But then when my teenagers grew, like I noticed that I needed something consistent so they can earn their foreign language credits.
right.
And I decided, okay, teenagers, they need to be told what to do every day.
Yeah,
And you need written instructions. So
right.
I created courses with my team in Spanish 1, 2, and 3. You could start from the beginning to advanced skills for
Mhm,
teenagers that want the parents, they need their teens to finish and earn their foreign language credit for whatever state you are. And then also for the teen to learn and get the foundational part.
mhm.
And it's interesting, sometimes as parents we say we want our teens to speak Spanish, that's all we want them to be bilingual. But guess what your teen is saying inside? Their brain is saying, no, you're not going to speak another language, you sound weird, I don't want to speak. So so I had this conflict between
Yes,
parents saying, I want my teen to learn to speak Spanish, but the teen saying, I don't want to sound dumb. I don't want to
mhm,
speak a second
right,
language. I don't want to sound
right.
like a baby. So I
Yes,
created the Spanish courses to give the teen the understanding, the foundation. How did I put the language together? Step by step. Let's go
right.
through themes, vocabulary, let's learn the grammar, but then let's put the language together
Mhm,
and
mhm,
let's understand how to use it to communicate. So at
right.
the end of the day, what the curriculum does is that I also want the children and the parents to learn, especially in this country. But I know
Mhm.
the military people, you are everywhere, you're around the world. But that
Yeah,
learning Spanish is a human skill, it's not
yeah,
an academic skill. And I
I love
think that if this is something that we can shift from our kids and say, you are learning to learn Spanish because guess what? There are 22 countries around the world, millions of Hispanics that speak the language. So at the end of the day, I give parents and kids what they need, but also at the same time, what they want, but also at the same time, I'm giving them what they need, which
Yeah.
is let's understand that learning Spanish is a human skill. We are learning Spanish, especially when they are teenagers. Teenagers need to understand why are we doing this? Why I am killing myself learning a language?
Yeah.
Because you never know what you're gonna do in your career
Right.
after finishing your 12th grade. What are you gonna do? I had students taking my courses because they are like, I want to be a doctor that speaks Spanish. I want to have a business that I
Mhm.
can communicate with my employees. I remember meeting with this student. He said like, I'm gonna have to cut the grass. What is that business called? Like cut
The
grass.
oh,
Um,
like a lawn,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Sorry.
lawn company something.
Yes, yes. And he say, and I don't know, maybe in the future I'm gonna have Hispanic workers working with me, and I
uh,
wanna be able to make them feel welcome. I could not believe this boy. He was like 13, and that
wow.
was his goal, and I
Yeah.
was so impressed by that. And I also have students that they are going to mission trips,
Yeah.
and they want to be ready to face the those experiences. And when you learn Spanish at home, you are not going to be perfect. You may not be even become fluent because you're not traveling, maybe you're not practicing enough.
Mhm.
But when you get the chance to do it, I'm
Right.
telling you something, the brain, there is something about our brain, there is something about what we have done for over the years, about
Mhm.
what happened when your brain is being rewired to learn a second language. Things will click.
Right.
And we are going to give our children that chance to become bilinguals because we have given them the tools and the foundation they need to become fluent.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Say that again. It about learning Spanish as a human. Say that. Yes.
Learning Spanish is a human skill, not an academic skill.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. And you and I understand that. I think and my hope is that more and more Americans understand that that is a human skill. I mean, I was teaching a model diplomacy class this past year, just
Mhm,
helping homeschoolers understand that as a country, we're part of a larger world, right? And that countries interact with each other in some ways civil, in some ways not civil, right? And
mm,
these countries represent real people, just like we are real people here in Los Estados Unidos, right? The United States. Um, and so understanding not just the politics, but the culture of the people, the language, and how important it is for us to really get along, and you and I are both Christians, so I can say as God's people, we all need to figure that out a little bit better. So I love how you bring that aspect to help families who are looking not only for a strong academic Spanish instruction program, but they're also looking for helping their children understand that the human part of this whole language learning is significantly important. And so thank you, thank you,
yes.
thank you. I told you
And
she's brilliant. You're awesome.
thank you so much. And I think it's important to show, especially with now with technology being everything so perfect, right?
Yes,
Everything
yeah,
looking so sharp.
yeah,
It is important for our children and our teenagers to interact with people like me with an accent. Do
yeah,
like, did you guys hear my accent? And guess what? I learned to embrace my accent
yeah,
because when I have an accent, it shows that I know a second language, right?
yeah,
And it's okay for things to be like, say it again, repeat it
yeah,
again. Like
yeah,
my daughter just went to Costa Rica, and she
yeah,
said, like, Mom, they speak a different Spanish. No, they don't speak a different Spanish. You need to get used to their accent. Slow.
yes, yes,
But I think that it is so important
yes,
for our kids to develop that we call it cultural intelligence
yes,
and emotional intelligence.
yes,
so many people get in trouble because they laugh about somebody making mistakes, or they
Yeah.
laugh about somebody's
Yeah.
accent, when
Mhm.
we should not be laughing. We should
Mhm.
be celebrating when
Separate. Yeah.
someone is trying to speak a second language. And
Right.
and technology is changing how we learn a language.
Yeah.
Everybody has access to applications now where you don't need to learn the language. But as parents, we are called to be the leaders in our homeschool. And
Right.
we know that the experience of learning a language will completely prepare our kids for what is coming in the future when they
Yeah.
become responsible adults, independent adults in society.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm so passionate about
Yeah.
starting early, and this is why I have my elementary program, and then to continue. Once your teen has the study skills, they already know how to be independent learners. I
Mhm.
believe an online experience, because even if they in the future decide to go to college, a lot of the college is being done online. So
Mhm.
many, and not only many of my teenagers that start taking my Spanish 1 course in middle school,
Mhm.
parents use that experience to prepare them for the other subjects that are coming. They need to learn how to navigate Google Docs. They need to learn,
Yes.
I even include PowerPoints for the ones that need more visual.
Mhm.
Even my videos for teenagers are different. They are very short too,
Yeah.
because teens don't
Yeah.
have the patience to
Yeah.
learn. But also at the same time, we add some humor, and we add, because we know, the grammar is hard and they need some smiles
Yeah.
sometimes. But it just shows the students how to read instructions online, how to submit
Mhm.
assignments. And I do provide the courses with live support. If one parent say like, oh, I don't want to do any of the grading, I want somebody to help me and help my teen's hand. We do provide the course with live support. But
Nice. So you
if the
get live
parent, if,
support.
if you are a military family that you are on the go, your husband is being deployed, and you need to move, and you want something with the structure and flexibility,
Mhm.
that's where my K to 12 is membership curriculum will be super handy, because it has something that will meet the needs of your young children and your
Yeah.
teens.
I love that. So you have that continuity. And in military families, one of the reasons many of us homeschool is for continuity, because just as you mentioned, we're constantly on the move. And so I'm thinking this comprehensive program, this all access pass, has from kindergarten, starting them early, just kind of, early language learning, right? And we know it's a lot easier for the little ones to get this than it is as you get older. And so having that continuity of your program go through as our children get older and older and they need to learn Spanish at a different level, right? All the way into the high school where we always as and wearing our HSLDA hats, where we have worked with families, right? We always advised at least 2 years of a foreign language in high school, 2 years of the same foreign language.
Yes.
And so, having said that, this is an amazing opportunity, and kids can grow with the program. They can become. They're like, oh, I know who my Spanish teacher is, right? And so,
Yes.
yeah,
You
this
know,
is super
and
exciting.
that's one of my goals, is
Yeah.
like, even my self-paced courses and programs in my
Hmm.
membership, it
Hmm.
has live support, in a sense that I may not do the grading, but you will get access to the community. And
Nice.
I am launching a Spanish team Spanish club. So I'm gonna do a Spanish club for teens, because teenagers do not like classes where they're being put on the spot to speak. Like when you're like, say something, they're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to disappear, right? So I have to meet I need to understand how the teenagers' brains work.
Yes.
So I decided, well, you know what? Let's create a community where it doesn't matter what level you are. We are all learning together. They are supporting each other and they are connecting. So that's
Nice.
my goal. And for the elementary program, I cannot emphasize, parents, how important is to introduce those little kids to Spanish, because when they get to reach the years of being a teenager, Spanish 1, 2, and 3, uh, if they have that foundation, these are my students that they thrive,
Yes.
because they already understand Spanish.
Right.
I had one student where literally he was doing Spanish 3. That's this point she did.
Okay.
So they did
Mhm,
elementary Spanish 1 and 2 and 3,
mhm.
and the last one of the last activities where they need to listen and they need to try to write what they listen, because we want them to develop that hearing skill, right?
Mhm,
She
mhm.
told me, "Oh wow, I understand everything."
And she felt really good too.
Yes, so exactly. So, it just builds not only
Mhm.
the skills what they are learning, but
Yeah,
also the confidence.
yes,
You and I know about psychology and
yes,
teenagers being confident.
yes,
I do think that it is important that teenagers take advantage of that
yes,
experience of learning Spanish to be like, oh, wow, I can do this. I can
yes,
actually learn something hard that is foreigner, but after doing it several years, it is not foreigner anymore. I can
right.
understand something.
Yes, yes. How amazing. I love it. I love it. So the questions that we were going to cover, we've covered a lot of them. But I do have a few more specific ones I want to ask for our family. So, and I'm going to recap. So you talked about your curriculum. Um, you talked about the multi-age access and how you have from elementary Spanish 1 and 2 and 3. So we can see all the different grades. So for most homeschooling families, they have more than one child. Not everybody, right? So, but a lot of families do. Hence minivans, right? And so you have that program to meet all the different ages that you may have. Because we, as the military homeschool community, we are constantly moving. I heard you say how portable it is because it's an online program. So, what I want to ask is, can you talk about um, is there a textbook involved, or is it all like log on and you're online and everything? Just give a little bit more about the actual structure and the platform.
Hmm. Yes. So for the elementary is organized by topics. So
Okay.
your children start with topic 1, La Familia. Of course, we want the kids to be able to start and do topics that they are already familiar with and they are fun, right?
Yeah.
So parents are going to go topic by topic. And as they move from topic by topic, they're also going to explore countries. We're going to go deep into a country and they're going to learn about the culture too. And I provide flashcards, PDF for parents to do for the students that are ready to do practices. Parents can build a Spanish portfolio. They can build their own textbook as they learn and they practice.
Wow.
So it's a little bit different. I also provide with online flashcards. So we
Mhm.
do Quizlets, so students are learning and they have ways to repeat, and if the parents say, no, I don't want them to repeat, to do anything online, they can cut the PDF flashcards and practice and interact and do that written if that's what they decide to do. But the
Mhm.
key part here is that every day for 10 to 15 minutes, those kids are gonna go and they're gonna watch me speak and they're gonna repeat with me. So I am your kids teacher.
Yes.
And the kids get that personal connection. I never forget one mom. She said that she plugged the TV to the program, and so can you imagine me, my face like
Yes.
there, really, and me acting? And by the way, because I act, my kids
Yes.
are like, "Oh, mom, can you become normal now?" Because I am very
Yes.
live doing movements because I know my audience are
Yes.
little kids, young
Yes.
kids, and they can handle that.
Yes.
The mom say that the little kid went to the TV and tried to talk to me. Now listen,
Oh,
you are not gonna have that with your teens because your
right.
teens don't want to see my face when they are like they will roll their eyes. So there is a different thing here. So that's the and it's built by year. So first year,
Mhm.
and then the
Right.
second year, and the third year. So I'm actually working on finishing the second year of the elementary program. And the
Wow.
more they move, the less Spanish I use, the less English I'm gonna use because the kids are
Yes.
already, developing their ear. I
Yes.
have parents that literally they finish year one, and now they're going back to year one because
That
they want their kids to master and master.
exactly.
This is all about repetition. Now With the teenagers, you jump into a Spanish one, and that's we give them the basic, we give them the tools they need. So
Uh-huh.
if they are 33 weeks each
Yes.
level,
Uh-huh.
33 weeks and 6 models. And each model, the student is going to do the same thing. They're going to start with culture, vocabulary learning. Then we go deep into let's learn the grammar part. And then they go into putting the language together. You know the vocabulary, you know the grammar. Let's put the language together. And we wrap it up with a test. Yes, there are tests. And everything that the student is doing, it has a grade, because this is the part where teenagers need to understand. I don't give you a grade. You
Mm,
earn the grade. So
right.
everything has points. And we cannot build a grading system
Mm-hmm.
that favors trying, that favors speaking, that favors that the what student is doing has points.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know about you, but the way I did it in the public school system, if the students took a test or tried an exercise and they fail, it was a big X in red and
Yeah.
zero. You
Yeah.
fail. So
Yeah.
I really try to combine that. The my courses encourage participation,
Right.
creation.
Right.
Students is not just consuming, but also students and input of students doing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's for parents to give, and I provide for the answers for the ones doing for the self-paced, and parents can put the grades with the students. And at the end of the level one, students
Mm-hmm.
are going to have a grade that they can show in their what is that
But it,
transcript, because
but
they
it,
need to have a transcript.
right.
And people ask me, do you have a certification? Yes, I do have a teaching certification, but when you are homeschooling, the parent is responsible
Right.
for the kids education. But I
Right.
am along with you, supporting you, giving you the documentation that you need to prove that your student did more than Duolingo. That
Yes.
your student learned how to study and put the work. Now,
Yeah.
parents tells me how much I need every day. It depends on the students. I have students that they say they do in the morning, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, they are done. I
Yeah.
have students where the parents say like, why is it taking 2 hours? Because
Yeah.
the student needs more time. And that's the part where it's nice to see like, um, is this student that I am trying to teach is auditory, visual. I had parents that say, no, I don't want my student to do the electronic work. Students can do the they can do the work electronically, where they have Google Documents and they create their own folder. We give you all the training, parents, don't worry. We
Yeah.
give you step-by-step training how to navigate the technological part. But most teenagers, they
Yeah.
cannot do it, and they understand that. Now, if in a case where you are completely, it's like, I have no idea how to do it, we
Mm,
personally help you get on board and create those and help you organize, right? So, but
right.
there are parents that say, no, I don't want to go through that, I just want to print everything, and they
Yeah.
create their own Spanish binder portfolio. So that's okay. What I tell parents is, use the system that is going to work for your teen, not the
Nice.
system that is going to work for you.
Right.
Because I know parents that say, no, I don't want my teen to do digital work, and they force the teen to do written. And
Yeah.
this is why the teen is taking 3 hours to finish. But then
Yeah.
we switch to digital, and the teen is doing it easily, everything. So that's
Yeah.
one thing. But what I like is that we are giving parents 33 weeks, get this done.
Yeah.
Let's get this done.
Yes.
I listen, I tried before 36 weeks, 40 weeks, and did not work. I
Yeah.
noticed that
33 is the magic
homeschool is like
number.
33 is the magic number. So I had to adjust my program.
That is awesome. That is
Yes.
awesome. So, gosh, what a comprehensive program you all. Like I said, both of our sons just have loved the program. I would come past the room when one or the other was on the program, and I'd hear, Senora Morato's voice, and she's exuberant and joyful, and just drawing the kids in. And so many times I think, for sure, when our sons first met you, they were like, oh my God, that's Senora Morato. So I'm sure that other kids just feel connected to you. And the fact that you have the program from kindergarten through 12, I love that. I love the fact that parents have a choice for the online digital, or they can do the print. But like you said, I think it's a good caution to just kind of suggest or advise the parents to figure out what would work best for their teen, because the teens are a different breed, right? And to be able to go from there. This has been like amazing conversation. I think I had one more question. How, well, I know the answer to this, but I'll say, how can parents connect with you, or can they try your curriculum before committing? And I will say real quickly, we will have all access to Mrs. Morato and her Spanish Educational Solutions in the notes. You will be able to contact her, but I will go ahead and let you respond to that question as well.
First of all, if you are new, and first of all, maybe you're not even ready for Spanish, but you are listening this for the first time and you are like, maybe I'm gonna listen to this crazy woman and give it a try. Okay. I created a parent course for you. It's basically 5 days short videos. It's a test for you if you're willing to do what your kids are gonna need to do.
Yes, nice.
And but the reason why I created this course is because not only sometimes as parents, first we need to deal with our mindset, right?
Yes.
So in that course, I'm gonna give you in 5 days steps how to start the learning at home. What do you need to think about it? What is the type of motivation? How do you deal with young kids? How do you deal with teenagers?
Mhm.
And there are some videos where I am speaking directly to the teen, because
Mhm.
I believe as a teacher and coach that teens they don't need to be told what to do. They need to understand what they need to do and why they need to do it.
Right.
So I even help you with that, and I give you a webinar when I go deep into my program. So if you want to go through that, I will give you the link for you to sign up free for that parent course,
Okay.
and I will guide you there. And also, I will give you the you can follow me in Instagram, Spanish at Spanish Educational Solutions. And also I will give you I will share the link to my website for homeschool parents. I have a homeschool Spanish curriculum.com link just for Spanish for homeschool parents that want to start at home. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna give you specific links to my K to 12
Okay.
Spanish curriculum all access, so you can see and check it out. And in that page, I also created a demo for parents to go and say, well, what a Spanish one looks like. Go and sign up for the demo. And if you wanna be like what this course, the elementary curriculum looks like, go and sign up for the demo too. So there is a lot of ways for you to
Yes.
interact
Wow.
with me. But if you want to go and talk to me directly, go to Instagram and DM me and say, hey, I followed Natalie Mack and she sent me here, and it will be so nice to connect with you and for you to mention Natalie's Mack and her association. So I know that you are a military parent looking for help, and I will super happy be able to connect with you there.
Nice.
And I also have the podcast. So I want to invite you
Yes.
to listen to
Right.
the podcast and
I was
listen
going to
to
ask.
Natalie.
Yes, I was going to say that. So first, we're going to have all of her contact, all of those links in the show notes. So don't panic if you like, what did she say? But I will say real quickly, her Instagram is Spanish at Spanish Educational Solutions. Yes, do I have that
Yes,
right?
yes, at
So
Spanish Educational Solutions. So
right,
yes, go
yes,
there and connect with me.
yes,
Sign up for the parent course and
yes.
ask me any questions that you may have.
Awesome. So real quickly before we close, and we probably should do another session, but she has an amazing podcast. I want to say it's called Becoming Bilingual. But
Coming bilingual, the art of speaking Spanish. And we're gonna add the link to the interview that I did to you. It was so much
okay.
fun.
Okay, yeah, I was guest on her podcast, but we want to get your podcast out there. It's an amazing podcast, you all. It's mind blowing. Like you really, the guests and the conversations really make you really kind of think in a deeper way about this whole process of becoming bilingual and the significance of not just learning another language, but all of the pieces that combine to support that. So it's really
Yes.
an
And
amazing podcast.
and the story behind
This
if I,
story.
I want parents, I want you to see your kids learning journey
Yes.
as they have you're building a story with them. So I am interviewing, people like Natalie that has this amazing experience traveling, and we got to capture that. I had actually, going to, I have students that I have interviewed, and I'm gonna keep doing that because I am so interested in the process of learning, becoming something. Learning a language is no steps. It's a
Yes.
process. And
The
but the thing is that sometimes we are impatient. We want things fast. We want things perfect. There is
Yes.
no such a thing. Like if you have a problem with perfectionism, start learning a language. You will get cured.
You get cured really quickly, right? Oh, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so thank you so very, very much. I appreciate you being our guest on the podcast and just bringing your wisdom, your joy, your Spanish Educational Solutions program. And I'm really hopeful that our families will take advantage of this opportunity. It's the best program out there that I have seen. And I've been homeschooling 23 years and 5 children. And really, even if we weren't friends, this will be a program that I definitely would have
Hmm.
plugged in regardless. So definitely take a peek at it, sign up for the accesses, do the things that you need to do for your family to become bilingual. And so
Thank
thank
you so
you
much.
so much, Karim
So
Morato.
Natalie, I just also want to say thank you for the work that you do, because your voice is speaking for these military families, and that's something that is great. And
Thank
parents, I invite you to listen, and not to listen, but to actually buy and do because it's a workbook. Can you
you.
show them your workbook, Natalie? I know it's in the back.
Oh,
Can you
oh
mention that?
gosh. I think most people know about it.
Yes.
101 tips for homeschoolers.
Yes, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, parents, you need to get the book if you don't have it, or give it as a gift to another military
Oh, thank
family,
you.
because
Thank
it's
you for promoting.
amazing what you have written, and the
Thank
way
you.
you make parents think about, okay, this is not just school at home. This is a journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, this is
Thank
a
you.
journey. And thank you for the work you do, Natalie. And thank you again, military families. It's an honor to serve you. And it will be an honor to be your Spanish teacher. And my team is also will be honored to serve your family in this journey of learning Spanish at home.
All right. Adios. Right. Nos
Hasta
vemos.
luego. Adiós.
Sí.